Hey there, Internet. We are back with our next Champions Play Champion interview. We are live on Twitch, and I have an audio issue because I seem to hear myself, and it is the weirdest thing ever. So just give me 1 second to frantically close every window that I have open. So just give me 1 second to frantically close. And you know, it's funny because I bet Dylan is at home coughing and being very sick and just rolling his eyes. Like, obviously you should remember that, Chris. So if we can get a chat check and make sure that you can hear me. There we go. I got the background working. Hey, everybody. Today is an exciting day. We have officially released as of this week on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. As of 9 p.m. last night, we launched on Xbox One, and we're super excited to invite a whole slew of new players on our Idle Adventures. Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms is a strategy management game that is available now on Xbox, PlayStation 4, Steam, Android tablets, iPad tablets, and it is a great way to play small, easily digestible D&D adventures. Every adventure has a storyline. We've got over 200 different adventures and variants that you can play through, over 35 different champions. I don't know why my background keeps going away. It's weird. The streaming gods hate me. So let's jump right into our interview. Today we've got the Holly Conrad of Dice Camera Action fame here to answer some questions about her character Strix. Hey Holly, how you doing?
Hello, I'm good.
Thanks for joining us. I really appreciate you taking the time to hang out with us for a little bit.
Yeah, of course. Sorry if you hear my birds. They just want attention. It's like toot.
That's all right. We like birds here at the C&E offices.
Yeah, they never stop.
So again, thanks for coming to join us. You know, we keep this pretty low key. We've got some questions from the internet that we've been pulling up, and folks in chat can feel free to ask some questions. For those new players that are joining us on Mixer, Holly is a wonderful D&D role player that plays in Dice Camera Action every Tuesday afternoon at 4?
Yeah, 4 to 6.
4 to 6 Pacific.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and on Ac Inc. sometimes.
Yeah. You've been guest starring more and more ever since you moved up to Seattle. It's been great. Well, great for me because I get to see more Strix, and that's fun.
She just ruins everything. It's fine.
So yeah, let's get to the questions, which I closed because of the sound issues. So that's awesome. We keep things nice and professional here. That's
the thing. There's always something. Like whenever I stream, it's like nothing can go right every time. You have to have something go wrong.
So for the new players that are just joining us on Xbox, and we should be featured on the Mixer page, so I'm sure we're getting a bunch of viewers right now. Can you tell folks a little bit about Strix?
Yeah. So Strix is a divine soul sorcerer, which that means that her powers come from a divine spark than necessarily like the arcane. And she is a tiefling from the city of Sigil, though that's up for debate. She could be from Barovia. There's a bunch of other things. She was taught how to use magic by Baba Yaga in the Feywild, and she now lives in Waterdeep with her compatriots who have gone all over the realms, causing problems and making enemies, and maybe solving a couple of them. And
maybe
yeah,
one or two.
Yeah, maybe 1 or 2. And she calls herself a trash witch. She likes making pies. She has a staff that turns into a broom and a bunch of other cool things. And she has a few pets, including an owl bear named Waffles. And she used to have a pet cranium rat named Stinky.
Yes, and I've got the game up on the screen, and we've got the polished pot of Stinky's ashes here.
Yeah. Yeah, and she loves to bake and give everyone snacks. So whenever her party is sad, she always gives them food from inside of her robes that she's made that may or may not be old.
Which at least now has less cranium rat fur on it.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. Yeah, I mean, more owl bear fur, though. I feel like that's more of a problem.
So I'm running a Strix formation. We're going through the free play of the current event, Cimmeral. For those that are on Xbox right now, the Cimmeral event is not active because it's only active until Monday, and we didn't want to make you feel like you had to have a lot of pressure to play through it. So the first event that we're going to launch on Xbox is going to be the Winter Shield event, which will go live on Boxing Day or the day after Christmas. Today is a pretty momentous event because momentous day because it also kicks off our console celebration. That's right. For the next 7 days, every day you'll be able to log on into the game, grab one of these console chests, and get 4 awesome items handpicked by our team here. And
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're really excited about this. We did something similar around the anniversary of the game, the first year anniversary, and we got a lot of feedback from the players that it was a ton of fun to come back and just get showered with freebies every day. So we're doing it again.
Nice.
We get to open the first one right now on stream. So we've got a huge potion of heroism now that those are back in the pool. We've got a large bounty contract for extra gold, a huge potion of fire breath, and drum roll, a time gate piece.
Ooh.
And time gate pieces, for those that don't know, if you collect 6 of them, you'll be able to open a time gate that will allow you to collect previous adventures. So every event we release a new champion, and it's available for a 10-day window. You can play through and gear them up. But then if you want to get them after the fact, or let's say you missed the event, time gates are your way to do that as a free player. Open up a time gate, you'll be able to run through the event again in order to collect the champion in 2 gold chests. And so that is a perfect way for new players on Xbox to search for Strix.
Yay. Sorry, I had to mute myself because Feathers was making loud bird noises.
That's all right. So let's get to the questions. Looks like our producer, Erica, already has a few queued up. So the first one. So you used to be a Strasny, but now you're a bee stinger. Can you tell me about that?
Well, Strix used to be a Skizix was the original family name. So, but her half-brother was a Strasny from Barovia. So the Skizix are a family in Sigil that had some ancient, like, universe-ending war with another family called the Lorcatha, and they had this like crazy. They're pretty much like celestial tide family against a devil tide family, and so they had this huge fight. And in the it was the acquisitions, the C team. We had a crossover, Waffles Inc. And we kind of solved that, and not really solved that problem, but pretty much the Blood War got involved. Asmodeus came up and was like, hey, I'll make you a deal, like, because Strix and Dieth couldn't be close friends anymore. And so Strix decided to become one of Rosie's adoptees as one of the Bee Stinger family. And Asmodeus agreed to that, and probably also agreed to a million other things, which Strix knows nothing about because he's like literally the most evil person. Yeah. So that won't come back and bite her in the butt ever. Yeah. To solve the problem between those two families, she literally made a deal with the greatest evil of all time. So, whatever. It's fine. Now she can just keep giving pies to Dieth. I guess that's what she wants.
All right. And what do you think about your new adoptive grandmother?
I think Strix is used to having a lot of grandmothers. So one of her grandmothers was, I always joke that Baba Yaga, she used to call her Granny. And so I don't want Rosie or Baba Yaga to ever get in a fight because it would just be terrible. And I think that, it'd be amazing, but it would also be terrible. So, but yeah, I think she's happy she doesn't really care. Like, she thinks that her family is the Waffle Crew. It doesn't make a difference, like, what the logistics of it are, but I'm sure that naivety will come and affect her later on.
Okay. Next question was, if Strix was a pie, what would she taste like, and what ingredients is she made of?
Oh.
Also, love your hair.
Oh, well, thank you. I think she'd definitely be just an apple pie, like a nice, like, seasonal, with lots of like cinnamon and nutmeg and all of those, and sugar on top because she's very sweet. And I think it would be a very good pie, honestly. She's very sweet. It might be a little burnt around the edges because she makes mistakes, but nobody's perfect.
but still good.
Yeah, but still very good.
Now that Strix is in a game, would you, and I guess 2 games now that you did voiceover for Baldur's Gate as well, right?
Yes, yeah.
So now that Strix is in multiple D&D games, would you like to see her in a movie? And who would you like to see her played by?
See, I always get this question on panels too, and I just don't. Anna has someone that she says their name, and I just like don't know. I don't watch enough TV. I don't know enough actors or actresses. I don't know them. So like, you guys decide. Whoever is fine. Like, I just put her in more games. I play games more than I watch like movies or TV. So, or remember actors' names.
All right.
So yeah, you guys decide.
Our next game, we'll make sure we flag a spot for Strix.
Yeah, I'm so bad at. It's so funny because like, there's this one time where like Anna and I were hanging out, and I was like, why does that woman on TV why is she wearing a bodysuit covered in dollar bills? And she was like, that's J-Lo. I was like, I just don't know who they are. Oh, that was it. Okay. They mentioned Helena Bonham Carter at PAX. Okay, sure. That person.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know.
Whatever.
I'm just so used to you as Strix. It would be weird if it was someone else.
Yeah, that's the thing is like, I don't want to see these characters like be in a movie. I love how they are now. I love that they're like interactive media. Like, I love that they're like role playing, improv, you know, all of that kind of like with a lot of ourselves in them. I think that makes it, I don't know. I think it encourages people to play, you know, like that at home, which I think is super cool.
Yeah, and you know how Strix feels like the Waffle Crew is her family. The players that are invested in Dice Camera Action and other streaming D&D games, they get that sense of being around the table too, and it makes them feel like this crew is part of their family too. It's almost like a really cool connection that you can get by streaming D&D every week. Not only are you showing players how easy it is, but also you're inviting them to the table with you, and it's a really cool treat.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the next question is from the .dk, and he says, Miss Holly, will you share Strix's recipe for Snickety Snooks?
I don't actually have a recipe for Snickety Snooks, but I do have a pie recipe. And the pie recipe, I actually just got it printed on postcards. So if people send me letters to my P.O. box, I actually send them a postcard back with the pie recipe if they send me a stamp.
That's awesome.
So that's how I share my pie recipe, Strix's pie recipe. I need to make a Snickety Snook recipe. It'd probably be like a hand pie or something.
Cliff Forever says they love you on the Acquisitions Inc. shows. And let's see. Darkest Fortune Official says, if you could see a new skin for Strix. By the way, I love that everyone on every Champions Play Champions interview has asked this question, and it's super cool. If you could see a new skin for Strix, what would you want it to be? Fancy Strix? Barovia Living Strix? What do you think?
Well, this is her. It's currently like her post Barovia look right now. That's the costume that I made. So that's like her canon look. But I would love to see fancy dress Strix. It's really the only other look I've done for her recently, which is the fancy dress for the ball episode where we met Strahd. So,
you don't think that she'd just be constantly embarrassed about it?
No, she would. But so her face would be that like downward, like unhappy face, like the whole time. Yeah. She'd be really unhappy about it.
So when we work on the Strix skin for Festival of Fools Year 2, we'll have to work on Fancy Strix.
Yeah, she'd just be so miserable.
All right.
Like maybe have her fall once in a while.
Nice. We'll just do the walking animation with a trip every other step.
Yeah.
Alexis, if you're watching, please write that down. How do you feel about Strix being the best DPS for the better part of the year?
I think that's great. I mean, it makes sense. Like a sorcerer has a lot of firepower in the game in D&D too. So it's, you know, it makes sense. Though I feel like everyone being champions themselves are all very powerful. So it's you know, only a matter of time before another champion rises above. And Strix doesn't care. Like she just wants to make pies. She doesn't care at all.
Yeah, she's a huge part of the meta right now, and while Farida and Warden have some alternate builds with equal level DPSs, I think Strix is still super popular.
That's awesome.
Imagone says Strix also has a pet beholder, right?
Yes, she has it's a gazer, one of the tiny ones.
Oh yeah.
Its name is Albie, and it came from one of the, I think it was actually a Harper spy that we met in the Xanathar lair. And Strix just found him, was like, I want this pet, because we just collect pets. And so that's why we have Albie now. So Albie helps her in the kitchen and wears a tiny witch hat.
Now I'm just picturing Albie as like that cat that doesn't want to be held and is being carried around by a toddler.
Well, he's like pale because he's albino, so he has like no pigment, and he's also like just kind of drools a lot. So he's just like one of those like really cute dogs that's just like also kind of like a mess. That's how I picture him. He's just like a really cute dog that's also kind of a mess, and he just like comes for scritches.
That's awesome. M Rules asks, Chris, are you there to spoil us that we're getting a Strix costume? I'm here to spoil everything. As I hear the office scream over to the left side. Yeah, we've introduced a lot of new skins recently. We've got a couple on the screen right now. We've got Pirate Brunor.
Yes.
During one of the recent adventures, Brunor decided to wear a pirate suit and was chased by a drunk pirate throughout the adventure. And we've got Undead Celeste from the Founders Pack, which calls back to the M12 module of Neverwinter. And so we're finding more and more ways to bring out...
Party Hat Jarlaxle.
Party Hat Jarlaxle with the freaking balloon sword.
Yeah.
Coming from Wizards, I am so happy and thankful that we got that approved, because
yeah.
It's perfect.
I'm surprised. It's magical.
Yeah. But yeah, I have plans for a Strix costume, potentially around Festival of Fools Year 2.
Nice.
Should be fun. Let's see. Ooh, as much as you can tell, what does Strix feel towards Diath currently?
I don't want to spoil the shipping.
Okay.
Everyone has to wait for that. I mean, you can kind of tell from how she reacts to these sorts of situations, because she just doesn't. Ever since the curse was pretty much lifted from her family in that in the Waffles Inc. Episodes, so she's kind of, I guess, able to sort of like find herself and like take care of herself and see like what she really like feels. So she's experiencing a lot of these new emotions and new experiences, and she doesn't really know what to do about them. So take that as you will.
Okay. Hang on
but no spoilers.
That question reminded me I didn't have Diath in the formation. I'm trying to set up a Strix formation. And of course I need Diath if I'm going to set up a Strix formation. Almost there. All right. Where'd the questions go? There's more. What is your favorite Warlock spell combo?
Ooh, for Warlocks?
Or what is Strix's favorite spell combo?
Oh, yeah, because I was like, oh, Warlocks. Like, I don't play Warlocks that often, but like some of my players have Warlock powers in my other games that I DM, and they're super overpowered. But for Strix's Sorcerer. I mean, I always use Fireball. Recently, I've been staying away from Fireball because we're in a major metropolitan area. So
you don't want to accidentally light the bank on fire.
Yeah. I've been kind of avoiding that just because of where we are. I feel like I've been using a lot more the Spirit Guardians, considering that she's again the Divine Soul, so I can use any cleric spell I want. So Spirit Guardians, for a cleric, usually has the like creature or like representation of your deity or whatever. And for mine, she makes spectral chickens. So she actually makes little like giant like ghostly chickens that attack people. So and that it doesn't destroy property. So I've been using that one a lot.
And also, what's more hilarious than spectral chickens chasing away water Davians?
Yeah, really large spectral chickens. And like they're like green and like just kind of ghosty and have like angry like birdy eyes. It's like yeah.
You may not be able to speak to this question, but do you know when the Baldur's Gate DLC is coming out?
I am not sure, but hopefully soon.
Okay.
Hopefully soon.
Let's see. Would you want Strix in a book series? If so, who with and written by whom?
So my Forgotten Realms knowledge is back in the day, probably like 90s, I think. and I really loved the Daughter of the Drow series and the Elf Song series. And of course, I've read all of the R.A. Salvatore like Drizzt books as well. But I feel like I would love to have her. I think it was Lorraine Cunningham that wrote the Elf Song series that took place in Waterdeep. And I would love to have her like meet the new. I haven't read the new ones yet, but I would love to have her like meet like the Blackstaff or just have some cool interaction with. Now the Blackstaff is Vajra, but I used to love Kelvin like back when he was alive-ish. So, so yes, that's what I would love to. I would love to see her in any of the books. That would be super cool. I would write a book. Wizards.
P.S. Talk to Holly about writing a book.
Yeah. I would totally write a book, but yeah, I loved reading those Forgotten Realms books. They were so amazing. So yeah, if she had a cameo in any of the official books, that would be rad. Yeah.
Let's see. How would you like to see Strix's character change or grow in the future of DCA?
That's a good question. People are asking if yes, it's a bird. I have many birds and they won't be quiet. I would love to see, I don't know. I think right now she's kind of still, again, trying to figure everything out where she is, because she's never had a place to like live, and she's dealing with all of these new like feelings of safety that she's never had before with her family living in this house and things like that. So I think like her wanting to be friends with Vajra and kind of like having more ambitious feelings of wanting to actually, you know, explore her power as a sorcerer. Like, why does she have this power? Like, where does it come from? You know, what are these sorts of things that, you know, she can do that other spellcasters can't, like heal people and do all of these other things. So I feel like that would be a really interesting, I think that'll be sort of an avenue she goes on, you know, along with all of the other like emotional stuff that I feel like she's already grown a lot. I feel like exploring her actual abilities and how they can better the world at large will be something that she will want to explore in the future.
That's cool.
Yeah, at least I hope.
So I kind of have an idea that just percolated into my head. You know how you were talking about you wouldn't mind writing a Strix book?
Yeah.
Well, when we write adventures, I'm normally the one that throws in a lot of the event champion dialogue. We have a writer on staff, Scott, who does amazing work, and he's hilarious and awesome. But if we were ever to write a Strix-centric adventure, would you be interested in working with us on some of the dialogue?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'd love that.
Cool.
That'd be super fun.
Let's pencil that in for a discussion later.
Sweet. Yeah, I would absolutely love that.
Let's see. Is Strix's staff modeled after Rita from the Power Rangers?
As much as I love Rita, she's a queen. I came up. The weirdest thing is I just came up with her staff. Just looking at. I used to design mage staffs and everything when I was a kid. Like, I just loved the idea of like wizard staffs and things like that. And I also loved the idea of the black staff. So having that like cool, like jet black looking like obsidian staff is always really cool. And I love the idea of like a crescent, like, or a moon sort of shape, just because it looked more like wicked, like it could be used as a weapon. And then later on, as I started fleshing out her story, it actually was used as it was originally a stick that she found in Sigil, that she used as more or less like a wedge to get bodies out of lakes to sell, to get out of like gutters to sell to people, to sell to the mortuary for money.
Like you do in Sigil.
Yeah, like you do in Sigil. So it was actually a practical tool that she used as a kid before she found Baba Yaga, who taught her to write the symbols on it, which is how it became her staff.
Cool. And do the symbols have meaning besides just being like an ancient?
So some of them are alchemy symbols for like air and earth and things like that. But some of them are just made up. And that kind of goes back to Strix's original idea of that she's a sorcerer. She's not a wizard. So it's kind of like a distorted version of actual magical symbols because she made half of them up. So it's an interesting, like, she's always trying to be a wizard, but then her creativity and her manicness sort of overrides it, and then she sort of loses it, and then it just becomes her own thing. So that's the symbols on the staff are.
All right. Let's see. Will we see more of the Chickenfoot Coven characters in the future? We got introduced to them when they applied, but it would be neat to see them return on occasion.
Oh yeah, I would love that. I think they did such a good job, and that was one of my favorite episodes. It was so funny. I think Evelyn's multiple choice test for deer nut, and then the poor Simon trying to kill that kobold just like nearly killed me. It was amazing. So yes, I would love to have them back at some point, or maybe even find, get some more members of the coven to come in and help later on. So
yeah. All right. What would you like to be Strix's next big spell / magic item? Have you looked to your next level up and tried to figure out what your next spell is going to be?
So we did just level up to 12, and I didn't get too many new spells. I think I did take Chain Lightning, which is one of my favorites. I love Chain Lightning. So that's pretty cool. I think Chain Lightning is a good like level up for damage wise, because I think we need a little bit more like magical damage. So that's something I recently took, but everything else stayed the same. I did up her charisma by 2. So now she has, I think, a plus 8, plus 7 or something to like her spell save DC. So that's good. So instead of 16, I think it was like higher. I can't remember. I'm bad at math. Either way. So she got a bunch of bonuses from that. And I think at level 14, she gets wings, which is rad. So I hope that's going to be super cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So Divine Souls, I think at 14 get wings. And so I've told Chris that he can decide what wings she gets, because they're bat wings for evil, and they can be any kind of wings, like literally they're any kind you want. Even if you're good, you can have bat wing. I don't think it matters, but yeah, I let him decide. So we'll see when she gets to that level what it looks like.
Yeah, it'd be you and Evelyn just floating over the battlefield all the time now.
Right? Yeah. That'd be really cool. Well, I mean, she already has her broom, so I don't even know if she would use the wings, but it still look really cool.
Yeah. Let's see. All right, we got a question from our Mixer chat. I don't know how recently you've played. I know that you are a player, but I'm not sure if you've played this event. There's a new champion. Their name is Warden. They're Warforged. And
nice.
Unfortunately, they are in Strix's slot.
Oh, no.
The question is, how does Strix feel about the eldritch horror that is Warden?
Oh, that is... well, I feel like she doesn't mind Warforged, honestly. Like, I mean, I think, like, she would just see this. She's with Simon all the time, so I feel like she'd just be like, oh, it's just another Simon, but just, like, way more messed up. Or just as equally messed up. I don't know.
Can you see the screen?
Yeah, no, yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, Kat did an amazing job with him.
That's so
with
cool.
them, excuse me.
That's great.
Let's see.
Chaotic evil, of course.
Yeah. This came from, Warden was designed by Dylan, and he definitely opened up a little bit of the darkness of his mind with this guy. a little nervous to work with Dylan going forward.
That's awesome.
Any news on when Strix's Guide to the Multiverse is coming out?
I wish. Tweet it, Wizards of the Coast. Just kidding. I should, I've been thinking actually of writing something like that, or Strix's Guide to Sigil for the DM's Guild, just for fun. I'm kind of just anxious. I've never done it before. I've never actually written anything for the DM's Guild. I want to. It's just, I don't know how to start. And I just I don't know. I feel like, oh no, I'm not good enough. So.
Well, I can tell you from my design experience, the best way to start is to just do it, even if you think it's crap. Because, like, the moment you have something down on paper, suddenly you have something you can work with, even if it's just complete crap.
Yeah. Well, I've been writing like my whole life, and I'm like working on finishing like a fantasy book that's mine, like a bunch of other things. I just I don't know. I feel like it's so like sacred. Just like I don't want to mess anything up.
Let's see. Now that her new grandmother is a monk, do you think Strix would take the time to learn the martial applications of the quarterstaff?
Absolutely not.
No montage? No Strix montage?
No. No. I mean, it'd be a montage, but she would just be falling all over herself and just like knocking things over, and Rosie would give up like immediately, I'm sure. Yeah, she knows her skill set, and it's not fighting with a staff.
Was there ever in Strix's childhood that one person who showed her a small bit of kindness, or was Diath the first one?
No, she worked at a bakery in Sigil with a barnyard named Imbris who took her in. She ran a bakery and near the ladies' ward that sold donuts that were decorated and shaped like Sigil itself. So they were really popular among the nobles and among, the higher class near the ladies' ward as gifts and things like that. And she had, unbeknownst to the people in Sigil, that she had orphans, Tiefling orphans escaped from pretty much from the clutches of the Blood War as her employees, and she took care of them. It was more or less an orphanage where she taught them how to bake. And that's where Strix worked. And then everyone was killed, and Strix doesn't know why, but she was the only survivor. And so she survived this horrible, giant mass murder of this bakery. And then that's when she left to explore like the gate towns and things like that. And she was a little kid then, and then eventually became in the Feywild with Baba Yaga. You can hear Paco doing toot toot toot.
Yeah, is he?
Good job, Paco.
Is he singing the Incredibles theme song? Because that's all I can hear.
No, he's going do 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 do.
That's the Incredibles song.
Yeah, he's like 23 years old, and my one of my grandparents taught him that song before they passed away. So he's just got this like whole repertoire of like little toots and things that he does.
I didn't even realize that Bird's got that old.
Yeah, he's an old boy.
Wow.
He's an old man.
It's like my cat. We got to carry him upstairs now.
Oh, no.
Just doing his thing. Yeah, he'll stand at the bottom of the stairs and be like, hey, hey.
Oh, so cute.
I lost my questions. Where were we?
I was just thinking about cats.
Huh?
I was just thinking about cats. They're cute.
I know. They're adorable. My daughter wants a kitten.
No.
Bob doesn't like it because she leans on him too much. So now she's just like, we should get Mom a kitten for Christmas. And I'm like, no, we're not getting Mom a kitten.
You're like, no.
No. Let's see. Xer99101 said, I just want to let you know I love Strix because her personality is so up my alley.
Yay.
Yay.
I'm glad. I mean, she's a mess, so that's great.
I mean,
who doesn't love a mess, really?
Who isn't a mess themselves?
Yeah, I mean, no, we're all a mess. And I think that's why people like Strix so much, is because she's just honest about being a mess.
Yeah, no, I can definitely agree with that. Garwar asks, speaking of Simon, is Strix worried about his intentions or is she clueless?
I don't know. I mean, Strix lived with Simon for a really long time, so I don't think she thinks he's like evil or anything. I think she just doesn't think of him as her responsibility. She thinks that he's Evelyn and Paulton's responsibility. So she's just kind of like, nope, whatever. I mean, it's like when it's someone else's kid, you're like, well, there's someone else's kid. It doesn't make a difference. So I think she's just clueless and doesn't care.
All right. So this next question is an interesting one. Do you, Holly, have any ideas when Paulton will be joining the Idol Champions?
I mean, I hope soon. Like, we at least need the other member, right?
Yeah. So I have a follow-up question for that. Do you know how to get a hold of Nate? And can you help us?
No, he's always touring. So
I
don't. I can't. He's just a free spirit.
So on Dice Camera Action this week, if you could just nudge him or slap him or throw things at him, like, that'd be great. We would like to speak to him.
Oh, fair.
Let's see. Speaking of Paulton, how would Strix describe her friendship with Paulton?
I think enabler. Like, I mean, she just.
Wait, is she enabling him or is he enabling?
she's enabling him just by just trying to make him happy by giving him some alcohol, I guess. I mean, and I think that they have a lot of like similarities in magic and things like that. So it's interesting because Evelyn and Dieth are kind of like the preppy kids, and Paulton and Strix are like the goth kids. So I think that's kind of like that they're just so broken together that it's, it works.
Let's see. This is a longer question than we would cut down a little bit. Have you ever thought about what upgrades Strix's staff could get next, or whether it's time to give it up completely the way Paulton ditched his mandolin?
Yeah, I'm never going to do that.
Just nope.
I'm never going to ditch it, no. Sorry, Paulton. But I mean, there definitely could be something like an upgrade, but that's totally up to Chris. Like, I don't think Strix would be able to do it herself without like a nudge, you know, something that's like something that would be in an in-game kind of like event or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it would be, I don't know. I think it could be something, you know, since its abilities are to polymorph, like she could eventually, maybe if she got wings, she could replace the broom polymorph with something else, or something, you know, that she doesn't need anymore. But yeah, it'd definitely be polymorph related. We'll just have to see where it goes.
Interesting. Well, if Strix gets wings before we get the next skin put together, maybe we'll have to add the wings too. The fancy
I don't
dress
think it'll
and the
be
wings.
for a while. I'm like level 14's a while from now. Please don't let us level up anymore.
Let's see. All right. Okay. Question from Gonzo Unleashed. I'm just about to start a new D&D 5e adventure this Sunday with 3 newbies. Do you have any suggestions or tips for me?
I mean, just have fun. Make interesting, you know, make characters that you would want to play, like and do that. And that's the best thing you can do. And take it, like what I do with like Strix is I take little bits of myself and put like that into Strix. So it's just like how you write what you know, like you kind of just like play what you know.
Sure. Let's see. All right. So we're running out of questions. So chat, keep it going because we still got a few more minutes here with Holly. Question for Strix. What is Strix's favorite magical beast?
Magical beast. I mean, definitely, I'd say the owlbear for sure. Like she loves, and this, if you remember how she got the owlbear, she just really wanted an owlbear. It's like, it's so cute, I want it. And then Chris, you know, in his usual Chris fashion, first had it maul her, and then then it gave birth to an owlbear. Then we had to eat the mom, and then now we have Waffles, the baby that we raised. But we definitely ate her mom.
That story got dark quick.
Yeah. That was Chris. That was all. So sad.
So, I have a question. How many times do you know the plot twists that are coming up? Does Chris ever kind of
we never
hint
know.
at it? No.
We never know. No, and it's like I think I saw someone in chat talking about like the symbols on the staff are actually on the Skizzix army helmets. So like apparently like those are the symbols for the Skizzix, and Strix didn't even know that, and she made them up, which is creepy, and I'm sure will come back.
I'm sure that's not foreshadowing at all.
No, exactly. So there's all these kind of like messed up things like that just happen, and we have no idea. Like the whole like Lorcatha thing, we have no idea what that is. We still have no idea. We still have no idea what the keys do for gutter. We don't know.
Oh yeah.
So all of that stuff is just totally a mystery to us, and that's what I think is amazing. Though there are times when he does tell us things, like a few episodes ago when Dieth had to play doppelganger Dieth. Like obviously Chris will talk to Jared or talk to any of us and tell us like, oh, you have a special thing you need to do or whatever. So that's, you know, that's usually when we know the secret, is when it's just to make the rest of us suffer.
Yeah, I remember I was lucky enough to play in one of Chris's games for about a half a year once, and it was amazing to see the plot threads that he'd weaved through the entire adventure. And he's like, do you remember that Dragonborn you met like 30 weeks ago? Well, they're back, and they're pissed.
Yeah. I know, and how many people have we pissed off? A lot.
Quite a bit.
Yeah, quite a bit. Quite a bit. Quite a bit, actually.
Ginger Bucket Cat is curious. What is your favorite beverage and food?
Mine?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I don't even know.
What's your like go-to comfort dinner? Like you've had a really crazy day and
I guess pizza. I like pizza. I like pizza, and like beverage. I like tea. So like any kind of like a good cup of tea is nice. So.
Yeah, I like the soothing aspect of tea. Like whenever I have a tea, I have to like hold the cup in a special way because it's just like that. I don't know.
Yeah, no, tea's good. I like tea is very comforting, but like also is pizza. Also, so is pizza.
Yeah, I totally don't have a plate of pizza in the other room waiting for me. I do, and it's going to be amazing. DCA tends to jump quickly through some storylines and leave many stories with loose ends. Is there a storyline you would really like to return to, and continue. This is oddly from someone named C. Perkins. Weird.
I don't know. I know that we have a lot of loose ends because I know they're all just going to come back and just make our lives miserable. I definitely obviously I want to know about more of the Lorcatha Skizzix things. I love Sigil and I find all of that fascinating. And I'd also love to see more about Evelyn's family. She got that letter from her brother the other day, and that was scary because we don't know anything about that, and Strix didn't even see or read it or whatever. But Holly would like to know more about Evelyn's plight. And yeah, and I definitely think Paulton has something to do with the Raven Queen and his destiny of having a domain of dread. So I don't think he's quite away from that yet because the Ring of Winter is still out there. So there's all kinds of things that could happen anytime. And I also want to know where Warrington Munt is going to end up, just because he's just, what is he even doing here? Like, he shouldn't even be where, he's like from space. Like, he shouldn't even be in Waterdeep. Like, what's he doing? So that's a big question of mine.
Okay. Why did you decide to make Strix's fire green?
That was kind of just like I guess like a thing that happened. Like I knew about like the green flame and all of that. I was like, oh, that'd be cool. Like she should have like green fire. And I think Chris also said it too. Maybe, I don't remember. I think it was like just a collaborative thing that happened. I was like, this would be cool.
Let's see. Will Strix ever remember to examine the ring she took off the Xanathar's eye stalk?
Oh, well, now she will.
Well, you can thank W. Ramus when
I forgot about that. Yeah.
ID at Xbox wants to know how you're enjoying their lovely Seattle weather.
I like it. I like the rain. I know everyone's like, oh, it's gloomy. I'm like, I actually really like the rain. So for me, it's great because plants grow in the rain.
Yeah.
And that's like the best because where I grew up, nothing grows. It's all just like dead and sad. So to be around plants is amazing.
Yeah, that was one of the things I loved about Seattle coming from the East Coast where everything dies in the winter.
Right, yeah.
It was amazing to see just everything lush and green and awesome in the winter.
Yeah, and it doesn't die, and then it gets even more green in the spring and summer. Like the only time it's a little dry is like fall, and that's it.
Summer gets pretty bad.
Really?
Yeah, because the heat waves lately.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like
That's right. I was here during one of those for Penny Arcade thing. But yeah, it was dry, but it wasn't like, to me, it wasn't dry. I was like, it's
all right, good point.
A little warm.
What are you complaining about?
Yeah, I'm like, it's not like actually on fire.
All right, well, chat definitely responded. I've got like 30 new questions.
Nice.
Let's see. Hit that one. Would Strix try to find out what happened in the bakery, i.e. why everyone died and all, if she had an opportunity to investigate?
Yeah, I think she definitely would. Especially now that she's not like a child. I think she'd be interested to see what happened. For sure.
What would Strix do if she ever met the Lady of Sigil?
Oh, you mean the Lady of Pain?
Yeah.
Oh, she would just run away. I mean, she wouldn't even like, there's no meeting there. You just panic and run. She would panic and run. That's what she would do.
How has playing with Chris as a DM affected the way you DM your games?
I think I've been affected a lot by how Chris DMs, in the sense that like learning how better practices of like doing a one sheet before you start of NPCs and things like that. Like that's a really good bit of advice that he has given many times. And being in his game and just seeing how he does a lot of those callbacks to the past, and then also weaving it into the character's backstory. I think that's a really, really cool thing to do. And I've kind of been doing that in my games where I make something that's plot related, like somewhat at least have stakes for the characters personally. And I've learned pretty much how to do that thanks to him. So he's just an amazing DM, and every time we play, I'm like super thankful. So
yeah, that's a really good point, and how he interweaves this stuff that's really important to the crew, but also makes it super important personally to one or more people.
Exactly, yeah. And I think he explained that once in one of his like interviews where he tries to give everyone a moment. And like he's really, really good at that. And I'm still trying to get better at that, but it's a good practice just to watch him.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. If you could pick anyone to be a guest player on DCA, who would it be?
Patrick Stewart.
Yeah, when that happens, I'm gonna fly to Seattle and just like.
And he needs to play Picard. Just kidding.
Well, he's gonna be back in the role soon.
Yeah, I know. I'm so excited.
I know.
Crossover episode with Star Trek. And then Warrington Munton can go home to space.
Yeah, do his thing. Would Strix try to find out? Oh, wait, I already asked that question. Too many repeat questions. If Strix could adopt any other pets, what would they be?
Oh, everything. Let me think. I mean, we already have an owlbear and a gazer.
I got Strix in the game. Yay. Sorry.
Yay. I'm pretty sure, like, we need something that can also fight. Maybe like a displacer beast or like...
Kitty!
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 Just like more dangerous things. Yeah, a pseudo dragon would be cool. Those are cute.
I want to see you...
Fairy dragons, those are cute.
I want to see you yelling at a blink dog that keeps blinking.
Yeah, blink dog, that'd be cool. A hellhound, that'd be sweet.
Ooh.
Yeah, we just keep like collecting these like, evil
right,
animals.
Who's gonna come play today?
Yeah, yep. So yeah, the list goes on.
Question for Holly: do you have any plans to continue making the friendly table?
Hopefully, yeah. I did enjoy making those videos, but now that I've moved and everything, I can actually set up a place to film, and then I can do more. So that's the plan. That hopefully I can do some more videos on YouTube. YouTube is kind of a strange beast right now. If I do things, I might stream it and then put it on YouTube. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Does the crew still have Binwin's possessions and ashes?
Oh, we do. Yes, we actually talked about that, I think, pretty recently. We do still have his possessions and ashes, so we can bring him back to life when the time comes.
All right, well, you gotta wait till he's done doing Binwin plays because we've got him trapped in the internet right now, so he can't be resurrected yet.
Okay, cool. That's where he went when he died.
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's pretty crazy. He's got a puppet of Binwin that he talks through.
Oh my god, amazing.
It's awesome.
That's great.
Let's see. My group is doing the Curse of Strahd campaign right now, and it is dysfunctional to say the least because of diverse personalities in-game and real life. How would you try to bring the group together in order to survive?
I mean, as the DM, I would just keep giving them horrible, horrible challenges. You know, there's nothing like adversity to bring together friendship.
All right, that's a good one. I've got a really good question for you here.
Okay.
What is something that Holly knows about Strix that Strix doesn't know about Strix?
Ooh, I don't think there's anything. I think there's lots of things Chris Perkins knows about Strix that Holly and Strix both don't know about Strix. Because that's kind of one of Strix's things, is that she just sort of just tells her problems to everyone when they walk up to her, like, oh, this time I picked up a body, like, whatever. So, like, I think she doesn't really have any secrets, as opposed to, like, Dieth, who has, like, a million secrets, and she has, like, none. So she just kind of goes about that. But again, I think Chris knows most of the secrets, so I'll never know.
Question from Meganelli. Where would you like to see the Waffle Crew visit next?
I'm thinking, like, I mean, I definitely I want to go back to Sigil all the time. So I will just always say Sigil. I would love to go back, but it would also be horrific because right now we're in Waterdeep, which is a big city. So maybe we could just go, like, I don't know, the Feywild or something for a while, or the beach. How about just the beach?
What? Can't go.
Yeah, how about just the beach? I mean, I definitely don't want to go back to the Shadowfell. I think that was the worst. Like, the Shadowfell was so scary.
In the first season, you said you had backup characters ready just in case. Can you share what they were?
Oh man, I don't really. I think one was just like an elf wizard who was just a very mean academic. Just like very like, I know magic, but not in a nice way.
We have one of those characters, Dadius. He's a jerk.
Yeah, it's like I know magic and I'm better for knowing magic. So their entire arc would have just been becoming, you know, like a nicer person probably. So
that's something. Yeah. That's something interesting. When you create a character, do you think about not only who they were, who they are, but the arc of who they want to become?
Kind of, yeah. Yeah, I think I do. It's more so now that I've played in a game this long, because I've never played in a consistent D&D game as long as I have played in Dice Camber Action. So I've kind of realized when I make characters, I sort of just think about I think a little bit about what their arc will be, but then again, it's not necessarily going to happen because it's up to the DM, really, what happens. So, I mean, I have all these ideas about Strix in the future, but it could be totally different.
Okay. Do you ever create Magic the Gathering decks themed around Strix or anyone else from the Waffle Crew?
So I've been trying to get better at that. I've been playing Magic a lot because of the arena online, and super fun. And I have a couple of like actual physical decks, but they're just the generic like red-black deck. So I think Strix would be red-black. So I want to make like a fire like necromancy deck, and I think that would be kind of Strixy, or like black-green maybe. But I don't know. But the problem is I like creatures, and red doesn't have a lot of creatures, and green does. So I might have to make black-green anyway. Yeah, so it's a debate, but I would like to do that. I just am not great at it yet.
I see Strix as black-white, because white will bring all the birds in and all the adorable animals, whereas black is all the darkness. Yeah, that's true. And get all the cats.
And all the cats. I love the cats. They're so cute. Like the little like, I think it's just generous stray. I was like, it's so cute. It's adorable.
Yeah, I love
it.
I've been playing a lot of Arena too, and a lot more than I expected. I've probably played more Magic through Arena in the past 2 months than I've played over the past 3 years of physical Magic. So it's a lot of fun.
And it's teaching me the mechanics too, which is nice. So
let's see. The sad thing is, like, the tutorial decks are better than the decks I could make. So it's
it's true. Yeah.
Like, this deck's really good. What would I change? Nothing.
Yeah.
Let's see. Someone made a comment. The Waffle Crew Summer Beach Anime Special.
Yes, I would like that, please.
Has there ever been any moments where you have Strix do something, but later you as a player have second thoughts on whether that was in character for Strix?
Not really. I mean, everything Strix does is kind of up to her at the time. Like when I play her, it's kind of like, it's just like playing a different it's a different person. So it's just like, okay, that's what the decision she made. Like, so, and I kind of like, yeah, and it's whatever she does is what she does. And, you know, if I feel like I second guess it, then usually later on, I realize that it's actually something that is super like important. And Holly didn't even know that Strix was smart enough to do it. And that's the messed up part.
That's awesome. Well, when you live in that character for so long. All right. So one comment and one more question, and then we've got to sign off. So Adam Cobalt says, "Hi, Holly."
Hi, Adam.
And then
hope you're well.
And then for our last question, how has Strix's asexuality changed since you started playing her?
Yeah, so Strix originally it was because of her trauma. So she had so much trauma growing up that she didn't have the ability to feel safe enough or feel things. So I feel like a lot of her emotions and a lot of her experiences were really shut off and just were a fear reaction. Like when someone hugged her, it was a fear reaction. When someone tried to talk to her, she even ran away early on in the game. So as she started to develop, and get help for her trauma and get help from her friends and help from everyone around her, she started, realizing that she's capable of having feelings. She's not really sure what these feelings are, but she is capable, and she still doesn't feel like normal, where people be like, oh, this person's a hottie. Like, she's never gonna be like that. But if she has an emotional connection with someone, she might eventually have some sort of romantic connection. So, but right now she's just trying to understand what's happening to her, because after the curse was lifted, she hasn't really been able to understand what she's experiencing.
Okay, that's a great answer. So I know we got a couple more questions still left. I will we'll sort through those, and maybe I'll shoot them off to Holly in case you want to respond to them on Twitter. But thank you so much for hanging out with us. We really appreciate it. And is there anything that you want to talk about? Any new shows you're setting up, or where people can see more of you?
Yeah, pretty much for the rest of the year, I'm just going to be streaming. So just twitch.tv/Commander Holly. And also just doing Dice Camera Action. I think this is our this upcoming Tuesday is our last episode of the year.
Okay.
And then we'll be back in January. So
great.
We get a little bit of a break. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Just follow me on Twitch and follow me on Twitter and say hi and be nice and take care of yourselves.
Awesome. Well, Holly, thank you so much. It was wonderful to meet and chat with you. We really appreciate you giving up an hour of your time to hang out with us here on the Idle Champions live stream.
Yay. No, thank you guys so much for always having me on.
Yeah, well, whenever you want to come chat, we have a spot open for you.
Yay.
All right. Thanks a lot.
All right. Goodbye.
Bye. All right. Now let's see if I can actually turn.
I'm just
going
to keep waving.
Yeah, just keep waving. It's going to be like
I'm just going to keep waving. I'm still waving.
I know.
I know. My hands are going to fall off.
I didn't do it right. End meeting. End meeting. Now we're just going to get paused, Holly. All right, so we got to close it up soon. We've got 3 minutes left. We need to be nice to the people that are going to be on the stream afterwards. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out with us, whether you're watching on Mixer, whether you're watching on Steam, whether you're watching on Twitch. We appreciate you spending your time with us and hanging out with us. We're going to be back on Monday at 12 noon Pacific. We're going to be talking with Ryan, the guy that runs Dinar. From the Acquisitions Incorporated C team. We're going to be chatting with him on Monday at lunch. Hopefully Dylan will be back, but if not, I'll be here to stutter through some of these questions. Again, Idle Champions is now out on PlayStation and Xbox, so download it this weekend. Have a lot of fun. The console celebration is going on right now, so everyone should be logging in and grabbing that first chest, because when you get 4 of them, not only will you get all the freebies from the chest, but you'll get an awesome golden epic for Arcan, and trust me, you do not want to miss this golden epic, and you'll get 5 more gold chests. Along with the release on PlayStation and Xbox, we've got the Founders Pack. It is a newly available DLC. It's a $20 heavily discounted DLC. To start, it has the $50 42 chest pack, as well as this awesome skin for Celeste, Undead Celeste. And for those that don't know, this is what Celeste looks like normally, and then she gets undead. So this is a skin that came from our partners over at Neverwinter from their M12 module. But Celeste is a skin in the Founders Pack, and we also have Iris, the familiar Iris from our logo. So check out that Founders Pack. It's a great way for new players to level up immediately, really deck out their characters, and kick your adventuring off to a good start. Thank you all for being with us. We'll talk to you again on Monday. You can go to the Discord to talk to players, especially if you're a new player. Discord.gg/idlechampions. Feel free to tag us on Twitter or Facebook if you have any questions. Thanks again. Have a wonderful weekend, and happy console celebration week.